So this is to help you redo your geometry test. For every single question that you missed, you need to include it on this chart. You're going to put the problem number, you're going to put your correct work, you're going to put the correct answer, and then you're going to say what mistake you made. So an example might be, I used the formula for the area of a trapezoid when I should have used the formula for the area of a triangle. At the very, very bottom, after you've corrected all of the questions that you missed, you need to write me a quick sentence or two about what you noticed about the questions you missed and what you noticed about the questions you got correct. The sentences should start with, I noticed. So what you can do is you can click through this and just work with me on the questions that you missed on the test. And then when you're done, you can get to work on the other activity that everybody else in the class is working on today. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Question 1. It asks for area in square units, what is the area of this rhombus shaded below? So the first thing I need you to do is to highlight the base and the height. So I need to remember that bases and heights always come in at right angles. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to look at my base and my height and count how long each of those is. So my base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my height is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do 4 times 5, because the formula is base times height, and 4 times 5 equals 20. The area of this is 20 square units. Okay, question 2. Same thing. I'm going to look at my figure and I'm going to determine what it is. It's a triangle, so I'm going to write the formula for the area of a triangle. Base times height divided by 2. I'm going to highlight my base and my height. Remember that the base is here. The height comes straight down the center like that because I'm looking for that right angle once again. Now I'm going to count how long my base is. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to count my height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So remember, it's 4 times 5, but I have to divide by 2 because it's a triangle. So my answer is 10 square units. Question 3. It says the net of a triangular pyramid is shown. The pyramid will be constructed by this pattern, but it will not have a base. So that means I don't need to worry about that piece right there. So when I look at this, I see that it's a triangle. So I write my formula, base times height divided by 2. I look at my triangle and I find my base, which is right here, and I find my height, which is right here. So I go back to it and I write my numbers in. 10 times 12 divided by 2. 10 times 12 is 120. 120 divided by 2 is 60. So this triangle equals 60, this triangle equals 60, and this triangle equals 60. So 60 times 3 is 180 square units. Question 4. The net of a rectangular prism is shown. What is the surface area in square inches of the figure shown in the net? So when I look at this, I see that this part here is 10 times 5. So 10 times 5, that's 50. This matches that, so that's also 50. Okay, this part right here is 10 times 2, and that's 20. So this part right here, same thing. And now I've got these side pieces. So this distance I know is 5. Right here is 5. And this distance I know is 2. So the last bit is 5 times 2, which is 10, and 5 times 2, which is 10. If I add this up, this is 100, 120, 140, 150, 160. So 160 square inches. Question 5. Here's a kite. When I look at this kite, I see a triangle right here. So I write my formula for a triangle, base times height divided by 2. And then I look at my triangle and I see that my base is right here. And that is 8 inches long. My height is right here. That's 3 inches long. So base times height divided by 2 equals 12. The top part of my triangle is 12. The bottom part of my triangle is also 12. So 12 plus 12 equals 24 square inches. Question number 6, parallelogram. The formula for the area of a parallelogram is base times height. So I look for my base and my height. The base is here, the height is here. So my base is going to be this number right here. So that's 30. And my height is this number right here, which is 12. 30 times 12 is 360 square meters. Okay, the stop sign question. If I divide it right here, I get a trapezoid. If I look at that trapezoid, this distance right here, that's 10. Then if I look down here at the bottom, I see that this distance right here is 7, and this distance right here is 7. So if I take those 7s and I put them on that line is 7 plus 10 plus 7. So 7, 10, and 7, that's 24. So that line, the blue and green line, is 24. So now I need to remember my formula for the area of a trapezoid. It's base 1 plus base 2. So base 1 we know is 10. Right here, that's base 1. Base 2 is this entire line right here. So that's my 24. So 10 plus 24, that's 34. Times the height. The height of this is 7. So 34 times 7, that's 238. Divided by 2 is 119. So this top trapezoid up here is 119, which means that this bottom trapezoid down here is also 119. Then I have this middle section in here. The height here is 10 times the base, which is 12, which is 24 rather. So 10 times 24, that equals 240. So if I add up 119 plus 119 plus 240, I get 498 square inches. Question 8. What is the area of this triangle? I have to remember about triangles, looking for that right angle right here, my base and my height. So the formula for the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So 8 times 6 divided by 2. So 48 divided by 2 is 24 square feet. Okay, the next one. What is the area of the figure below? Well, I've got to break it into things I know how to find the area of. So I know how to find the area of that. So that is just a rectangle, and a rectangle is base times height. So it's 8 times 7, or 56. All right, then I need to look at the other part. I know that this distance is 3, and this distance is 3. And this distance down here is 8. So 3 plus 8 plus 3 equals 14. So this entire line here is 14. Then when I look at it here, I see that this line here is 7. Well, the whole line is 12. So I need to think in my head, what is 12 minus 7? Well, that's 5. So this part of the height of the thing is 5. So it's going to be base, which is 14, times height, which is 5. 14 times 5 is 70. 70 divided by 2 is 35. So 56 plus 35 is 91 square, whatever, inches. Okay, next one. What is the area of a triangle with a base of 7 and a height of 12? Base times height divided by 2. 12 times 7 divided by 2. 84 divided by 2. 42 square inches. Next one. What is the area of the shaded triangle? Base times height divided by 2. The base is 4 times the height is 7. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 divided by 2 is 14 square centimeters.